And Chris Billam-Smith, as I mentioned, he's fighting Zurdo Ramirez in a unification fight the month after your fight. What do you make of that? How do you see that one kind of shaping up?
Yeah, it's a good fight. May the best man win, and I'll see you after it.
No prediction?
I don't care.
Fair enough. I mean, Chris Billam-Smith said that in an ideal world, you would be next for him after that. You've obviously got an IBF mandatory pressing as well. You want it to be for all the belts, presumably all three, if whoever comes through that fight. How will you balance that?
Man, I'm spewing, I wanted to take the belts one by one. I wanted to beat them all individually, so there was no argument about it, and I could hold all those belts up and be proud of it, you know what I mean? But unfortunately, this is the way the path has gone. And man, honestly, I just want to stay busy, keep fighting. I want progress fights. But I've got all this shit going on, all these mandatories. All I do is here, in this gym. We train hard, you know what I mean? They give me a date, we got to win the fight. All this outside noise, that's their business, that's my manager's job to worry about that. I worry about the gym work, getting my body right, getting my fucking preparation good, staying fit, staying strong. Everything else, all you boys, what you talk about, I don't think about that stuff, you know what I mean? They come to me with a date and they say, oh, you're fighting him? Fuck, let's do it, you know what I mean?
Would there be any frustration on your part, though, if you had to, whether it's moving up or making a different route without ever becoming undisputed?
We don't got to do anything we don't want to do, you know what I mean? Being undisputed is a realistic thing, I don't understand why we'd have to even move up unless we got all the belts, you know what I mean? It's a smart thing to do, not just for myself, but for the rest of the champions as well. I feel like that's what champions should do. They want to fight other champions and fight for other belts. That's the whole fucking point of the sport. Otherwise, we're just maintaining what we have. I want progress. I want to grow. I want to get better. So I just feel like it has to happen.
Chris Billam-Smith did an interview with us last week. He hasn't gone live on the channel yet. But in it, he said that he felt the rematch victory over Breedish, your performance humanised you. He said everyone was hyping you up. That made you seem more human. And although people were comparing you to Usyk is a much better fighter than you. Do you say, given Usyk's standing and experience, fair comment? Or is that edging towards trash talk?
It's just, what's with the back and forth? Let's fight. What the hell are we even doing all this shit for? Come find out. How good I are. Let's go.
Do you think, and I think I've asked you this before, but do you think that it's Chris Billam-Smith avoiding fighting you, or his team perhaps in this case?
Mate, I don't know. And honestly, I don't even really think about it that much. You know what I mean? Like, I just focus on training every day, winning the days every day, training hard, getting the body right, constantly, hard work, grinding. That's it. You know what I mean? The fights will come. They have to come. I just got to keep proving I'm the best. They have to come. Winning is all I care about. Winning these fights.
How important is it to you that you get top quality sparring, not just ahead of your own fights, but when you haven't got a fight lined up as well, because it's replacing that competitive action you would otherwise be getting?
Sparring's always good. We don't really spar outside of our camps. You know what I mean? We stay fit and we stay strong, but there's no need to. You know what I mean? When we spar hard. So, there's no, we do a little partner work and stuff like that, keeping the eye in, getting the, distance and stuff. But there's no point for hard sparring unless you're preparing for war. You know what I mean? And, right now we're preparing for war, so we're looking for hard sparring. So,
with that in mind, we know Tyson Fury's got his rematch in December with Alexander Usyk. You're a southpaw, very gifted one of the best in the world. Is there a chance we see you in that Fury camp once your fight's all said and done after October?
Well, it depends if I'll be fighting on the card or not. If I'm fighting on the card, I'll probably be focusing on my own camp. But if I'm not, I'm happy to go there and help out. You know what I mean? Why not? It's a great atmosphere to be around other world champions. You know what I mean? And it's Tyson Fury. He's the heavyweight champion of the world, or was. So it's all learning. It's good to be around other people like that and learn and sponge, and it's all positive sort of stuff, being around other world champion teams. So why not? I feel like it's silly not to.
And obviously your time in the Fury camp previously was abbreviated. Do you think spending longer working with you can help Fury, especially going up against another talented southpaw?
Mate, that's for their camp to decide. You know what I mean? I can't control their camp, so you know I'm happy to help if they need help. If not, it's fine. I'll focus on my own shit. Like, you know what I mean? These questions, it doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? They ring up, say they want spar, and I'm happy to go spar. If they don't, it's all good.
How keen are you to be on that December card? Because you mentioned there it's a possibility.
I'd love to stay busy. You know, I'd love to be on that December card, but you know they're talking about fighting the winner out of, you know, for the unification fight going on in the cruiserweight. So we just see what happens. If we can get on it, we'll get on it. If the unification fight happens, we'll get that. So who knows, man? We just got to focus on 12th of October, and then after we win that, then we focus on the next move.
There was a lot of talk after Fury's defeat to Usyk about his corner and some of the confusion going on there. You've obviously spent some time in his camp. What did you make of the setup there? Were you impressed by it?
Everyone's always want to point the finger when someone goes wrong. You know, something goes wrong, everyone's always trying to blame each other and fucking, oh, it's his fault. And it is what it is. You know, I feel like that's what tears teams apart, is when something goes wrong and then they start to blame each other. You know what I mean? That's when they should come together, you know, think about what's happened, work as a team and move forward. And I think that's how they'll progress and they could come back to win the fight. I feel like he's got the tools to win the fight. You know what I mean? But I feel like blaming each other in the team would be the worst thing to do. You know, the team needs to work together and focus on what to fix, not, you know what I mean? Just fucking pointing the finger and saying it's his fault or his fault.
There's a lot of upcoming fighters out there who admire Jai Opetaia, probably watch your tapes and try and improve their own game as a result. Who do you look to, either fighters from the past or current ones? Who do you admire?
Man, right now, in the present, we're just so focused on our own journey at the moment. You know what I mean? There's obviously that respect amongst fighters that you see people at the top level, you know what it takes, and you understand the sort of journey other people have taken to get there and remain there. You know, so there's that mutual respect, but you know, we're just focused on ourselves. You know, we've got people to feed, we've got family to take care of and stuff to do, you know, so we ain't got time to be worried about other people's business and stuff like that. Obviously, you know, we support the world of boxing and, you know, we're always going to back the great fights and stuff like that. And, you know, the big names will always watch those fights. But the ins and out and the outside noise, we're not focused on that. We're focused on our team right here and trying to train, you know.
No fighters of the past, perhaps, that you look at and take elements from? I don't know if there's anyone you looked up to when you were first getting into the sport, for example.
Yeah, of course. You know, there's that science of the sport that you sort of, you know, I'm a massive Evander Holyfield fan, you know, growing up watching him, even he was my same height, fighting a lot bigger dudes, you know, so it's like sort of a path that I look down. But, you know, I love the southpaws, you know, and when I was coming up, as a young amateur and stuff, I was part of the Mayweather era. You know what I mean? He sort of changed he changed the sport. You know what I mean? He turned it into a game of hit and not get hit, instead of a game of, you know, who can take the most hits and keep coming forward type of stuff. You know what I mean? So I feel like the science of the sport, but I just appreciate good boxing. You know what I mean? I appreciate good fighters, like you know, the feet work, you know, when you put all these little things together, that makes a great fighter. It's not, you know, the punching's the easy part. You know, anyone can get in there and throw some punches, but it's when you know how to create distance, you know, cut angles, you know, and the right punches at the right time, and counter punching, being first, feints, you know, it's things like that I appreciate fighters, and I sit there and I watch, and, you know, things like that. But yeah, there's a few out there, but.
With that in mind, what do you think is the most notable quality of yours that perhaps people miss, commentators, writers and so on? What are they not seeing that you're particularly good at?
I think our power is being able to adapt, you know, is having everything in our back pocket. You know, we train for anything. You know, we train for a front foot fighter, we train for a counter puncher. So I think being able to adapt to anyone in the ring and being able to adapt and use your tools, you know, having enough ammunition to fight anyone, you know, in any sort of circumstance, in the pocket, out long, mid-range, long range. So I feel like that's, you know, that's the strength, is covering all bases.